ready to go.
You and me, a dream team.
Very good choice, my friend. Let's go for the title defense.
Hello and welcome from the Hockenheim Ring. Finally, it's time for the DTM season 2013. It's been such a long winter of abstinence, and the qualifying was already really exciting. And all in all, you can expect a thrilling season. Here are the highlights. Enjoy.
Yeah, thanks very much, Verena. Yes, we're at Hockenheim, traditional starting and, of course, ending point for the DTM. Yes, this is the 2013 season. Bruno Spengler won it sensationally for BMW last year. Here are the 24 drivers ready to do battle. Chasing Spengler will be the likes of Martin Tomczyk from BMW. Then, of course, there's former champion Matthias Ekstrom. Former double champion Timo Scheider. And for Mercedes, their top man, Gary Paffett. All those, of course, previous champions. That man has never done it. Jamie Green, 8 seasons for Mercedes. He's now with Audi. And what about this man, Timo Glock, fresh from Formula One. He joins BMW. And there's Marco Wittmann, their reserve driver last year. Pascal Wehrlein, a last-minute replacement for Ralf Schumacher at Mercedes. And newcomer to the team also, Danny Juncadella, the Formula 3 champion. Innovations for 2013 from Formula 1, DRS and option tyres. 87,000 people crowded into Hockenheim for the action. So let's check out the track, courtesy of the Hankook animation. Well, this is the German Grand Prix circuit, of course, and there the start line in front of the huge grandstand in the stadium section. 3 marks line up, and as they accelerate away to the Nord curve, there's a big runoff here, but we've seen many incidents, and then a short little run to the second slowest corner on the circuit, now known as the Ecclestone curve. Very important to get good traction out of here, accelerating from second gear. And then the long left-hander, which is known as the Parabolica, and this is the fastest section of the track now as we run up towards the hairpin, up to 260 kilometers an hour, and then very heavy braking all the way down the gearbox to first gear for the hairpin. See some different lines around there, then accelerating away on the main straight, the old return straight, until a right-hander. This is quite a tricky corner here into this new section. Six-speed gearboxes, remember, for these DTM cars. Through that little tricky section, then back onto the main straight again, and then into the stadium section. Quite a technical area here, all the way around the Sachs curve. Again, got to get very good traction out of here. Do a little left flick, and into the right-hander, which is the Sud curve. They'll bring the cars back onto the start-finish line, and a lap of Hockenheim is completed. The length of the circuit, just under 5 kilometres. The race will be 182 kilometres. That's 40 laps. So qualifying, and look at this. Timo Scheider celebrating, the two-time champion who had a terrible season last year by his own admittance. Takes the pole, his 11th time in his long career. And Scheider so happy.
It feels great after such a bad season in 2012. Being back in racing for the first race of the season 2013, being on pole position is awesome. I think that is fitting quite nice to our program, and it feels nice for the guys and for me as well, for sure. Right now in the quali session we have done it, and that's something awesome for us.
Good for the A5 then, and in second place, just saw him briefly there, Augusto Farfus, just a tenth of a second slower in the BMW. Defeating the top three, Christian Vittoris for Mercedes-Benz. Made it into the final four shootout. And what about this man, Pascal Wehrlein, youngest man ever in the DTM at 18. The Mercedes Junior actually claimed 8th place in his maiden race.
That is a good start of the season. We proved everybody wrong who said that our strategy in putting so many young guys into the cars was a bit too risky. It's right, it's the right way forward, and especially in those difficult conditions. So I'm very happy. As a team, it's a very, very solid result.
Also for Mercedes, Gary Paffett will line up in 6th place, 1 place ahead of the reigning champion, Bruno Spengler.
It's a bit of a lottery today with these conditions. I mean, it's very mixed. So it could have been much worse than P7. So from P7, I think with the new DTM format, it's possible to come up front, and I will give everything I have to come on the podium.
New champion, what about the newcomer to DTM, Timo Glock? Got through to Q2, and finally qualified in 15th spot.
I think we made a mistake in Q2 to go on a fresh set. I think a used set would have been maybe quicker, and just my tires just went slower and slower, and unfortunately we couldn't improve. So something to learn out of it and make it better next time.
So let's check out the full result, and also interesting in 4th place, look, Rob Wickens in his 2nd season, the Canadian. Then after that it was Ekstrom, Paffett, Spengler. Wehrlein we mentioned, Joey Hand, the American, in 9th, Danny Juncadella, also a rookie, in 10th place, and then former champion Martin Tomczyk. Jamie Green making his debut for Audi, 12th, then Adrian Tambay, Mike Rockenfeller, then Timo Glock, you heard from him, Felipe Albuquerque, Andy Prio, a little unlucky to qualify 17th, Molina, Mortara, Merry, Whitman and Dirk Werner had some problems. That's the 22. But now it's time to catch up with the reigning champion, Bruno Spengler.
With the DTM champ Bruno Spengler. Bruno, let's first of all look at yesterday's qualifying. Starting in P7 today, I bet you would have liked to have been further in the front, but is it okay to live with?
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, the qualifying was a difficult one. You know, we had very difficult conditions. The start of the qualifying was okay. The car improved. My team did a great job improving the car from free practice to quali, because in free practice we had a bit of struggle with the car. Qualifying was a bit better, and then Q3 was really a bit of a lottery, to be honest, because it was drying. We were on slicks, and then I was one of the first one to pass start finish and to finish the session, unfortunately. So the others behind me had a lap extra. And then they all passed in front of me, so I finished the session in 7th place. So I was a bit unlucky to be too early on the start-finish line, 5 seconds I think it was. So that cost me a few positions and probably Q4. But anyway, you know, with the new DTM format, with the option tire and the DRS, and I think the team can play an amazing role in the strategy today, because everything is open. You know, from lap 4 to 4 laps to the end, you're allowed to do your strategy, do your stuff. So it will be a lot up to the team also to find the right strategy, and I think it will be very hard for them. So I'm looking forward to the race, and I think from 7th place, if I don't get shot in the first couple of corners, everything can happen, you know.
Now, quite a few times we were pretty close to the title. Last year you managed, you clinched the title. Martin Tomczyk once said that it might sometimes be even more difficult to actually defend the title than to snatch it. How do you feel about that? And is it actually in the back of your head to defend the title, or are you just going for the race for now?
To be very honest with you, it's not in the back of my head to defend the title. What's in the back of my head is what have been happening last year, and race wins and winning the championship was an amazing year, but this is somewhere hidden in behind my head, and now it's a new season. I'm very motivated, and every year is new. So, you know, I take race by race, and it starts with here Hockenheim. Today I will try to make the best race I can and bring the maximum points home. This is what counts, you know, nothing else counts. The whole season is still very long, so you have to take race by race, and then just at the end of the season you will know if the season was good enough, if you have enough race wins or not, and then you will see how it is at the point standings.
So I guess looking at the race today, a podium would be nice.
Yeah, I mean, starting from P7, a podium will be probably very difficult to reach, but it's possible, I think. So I will give everything I have and push very hard to come on the podium. That would be very nice.
All right, best of luck. Thank you very much. I'm pretty sure it's going to be very exciting. Thank you, Bruno.
At last, time for the season to begin. And look at the weather after what had been a dismal and wet Saturday. The sun was shining on Sunday morning. Damon Hill was down there. His son had been racing well. Martin Donnelly, former Formula One driver, and Sebastian Vettel came, a little bit unannounced. And Nico Rosberg, he was there supporting the Mercedes drivers, and Nico Hülkenberg, he was there too. So drivers getting ready for the start. Tara, who was the only winner for Audi last season. They, of course, now use the A5 body shape. Timo Glock puts in the earphones. Doesn't want to have a headache tomorrow morning. He will drive the yellow Deutsche Post BMW. And there, Mike Rockenfeller, the former Audi winner, gets ready. Red Bull colours then of Jamie Green. Jamie making that transition from Mercedes-Benz. Martin Tomczyk, the champion from 2011, climbs aboard his BMW.
And now I'm here with Timo Scheider, starting in the ultimate position, in pole position, Timo. So that is a perfect start into the new season. And rumor has it you're starting with the option tire. What's the strategy behind that, to go all the way through in the front?
Actually, the plan is to pull away. That's the target I have. But for sure it will be difficult anyway, but I try my very best. So focus on the start, clean first lap, and then we will see.
All right, well, best of luck, Timo. Thank you very much. And as you can see, the tires are being changed right now.
Yeah, interesting tyre rules here. We'll explain that as the race goes on. Juncadella gets ready. Quite a lot of people, mainly those at the front, starting on the option tyres, the stickier tyres. No one's quite sure how long they will last, including this man here, Joey Hand. Gary Paffett, I know, will start on the regular rubber, which is the same we used all last season. And the DRS, how will that work? Peter Mucker there with his young charge, Pascal Wehrlein. Pascal taking over the seat, which was originally penciled in for Ralf Schumacher.
I'm here with Nico now. Of course, he's supporting Mercedes-Benz because he's supporting the junior team. And yesterday in the qualifying, where we already saw that two of the youngsters ended up in qualifying P8 and P10. That seems to be a very, very good result so far. How does it feel to be supporting them?
Oh, for sure. It's been an interesting weekend for me, and I'm in contact with them, you know, and I've said whenever they have some questions or need some sort of support or advice that they can ask me, so we've been discussing a bit, and they all did a great job yesterday. You know, five cars in the top 10, which is really okay. Locked out the second row of the grid, from which you can really, you know, have a great result. So everything's possible for Mercedes today.
Maybe even a podium?
Well, podium for sure is the goal, yeah, and it should be possible.
Bruno Spengler then, the reigning champion, climbs aboard. Fresh from playing tennis with one of Germany's top stars in the run-up to this race. Lots of promotional and PR activity been going on in the week before. Gary Paffett got to get used to those new blue and yellow colours on his Mercedes. Paffett, of course, the only really senior driver in that team now. Matthias Ekstrom, who was on the pole here a year ago, has had his successes here at Hockenheim. Just a bit of hydration. That seems a bit of a tricky operation. Robert Wickens then, who came on strong towards the end of last season, the former World Series by Renault 3.5 champion from 2 years ago, entering his second season of the DTM for Mercedes. He also had new colours on his car. Christian Vittoris, former winner in GP2 and now in his third season at the DTM. And good qualifying from Vittoris. Augusto Farfus had that one win last year. And Farfus staying with Bart Manthey's team, whereas Andy Prio has switched teams. So there are now, of course, 8 BMWs, and there's a new team as well, M-Tech. But Timo Scheider there, Super Mario no longer on his crash helmet. Maybe that will bring him some good luck. And also, he switched back to a black car. His sponsors asked him if he wanted to. Last year he was on a white, now he's back with his familiar black. The starting grid then, Timo Scheider and Augusto Farfus, Christian Vittoris, Rob Wickens, Ekstrom and Paffett, Spengler, Fairline. You see the little symbols there, what tyres they're starting on. The yellow is the softer option tyre. And as I said, we are not really sure how long they're going to last. Maybe 16, 18 laps. So there'll be quite a lot of strategy. And we've got there's this Dieter Gass, who is now head of DTM for Audi, working under Dr. Wolfgang Ulrich. There's Jens Marquardt for BMW. Seconds to go. There's Gerhard Unger for HWA. The engines are revving. The lights go out. And good start from Timo Scheider. Joey Hand there, I think, on the right. Joey Hand slow away. Must have just stalled it. Gets away now. Everybody avoiding a few cars going out wide. It's the black Audi in front. It's Farfus in second place. Look at Wickens in the orange car covering as he goes into the hairpin. Everybody else around that slow corner. Now out in the country through the Parabolica. And they'll be braking hard at the end of this one. No DRS yet. We'll get a message when it is enabled. Very similar method to Formula One. They're around the hairpin. And a couple going out wide. No real problems there. Now off the old main straight into this section. Turning right back onto the straight again in front of that massive grandstand. So Timo Scheider making a good start. Paffett, I noticed, quite well up, considering he is on the so-called slower tyres, on the regular rubber. Look at Farfus pushing hard. These tyres were tested, of course, prior to the season, but they haven't done that much running on them. Wickens in third. There is Paffett, holding up well. Ekstrom is also on the regular tyres. So is Vittoris, I believe. Interesting to see when we get the first pit stops. How long will the options last? How will they drop off? These are some of the questions we're asking. Miguel Molina in the RS5 Lyrid Audi with a right rear puncture there. Molina, the Spaniard, who we thought wouldn't be in the DTM this year, but was finally picked up by Audi. Martin Tomczyk up to 6th place from 11th. Well, I'm here. He's got a drive-through penalty. Oh, Tomczyk for jumping the start. Must admit, I didn't know. Let's see if we can see it. Yeah, there he goes. There he goes. So Tomczyk gets the drive-through penalty. Bruno Spengler riding on board with him at the start. What an incredible getaway he had. Bolting him up the field a little bit. DRS is now available to the drivers, and the rule's different in the DTM to Formula One. They can use it once during a lap for as long as they like. But if you pull if you pull 2.5G, touch the brakes, come off the throttle, then the wing will crank back the 15 degrees back to its normal position. Already pit stops here, coming in. Adrian Tambay we just saw, and look at this, that's the move for the lead. DRS enabled pass there from Farfus. Also different to Formula One is if you're within 2 seconds of the nearest car. And a fire there for Adrian Tambay. Adrian Tambay on fire. Marshall's come to douse the flames. Sure, must maybe an engine failure there. There is Farfus now in the lead from Timo Scheider and Spengler. Wickens in 4th place. Wehrlein, well, look at him up in 5th place, and then Paffett. And problems for Wickens. Wickens just seemed to miss his braking. It must have been a mechanical failure. He's just parked it at the hairpin. And Robert Wickens, big disappointment. He is out. And yellow flags waving. And the car is being pushed away. Not sure exactly what happened there. And I think we've got a safety car. Yes, we have. Farfus comes in. So the regular tyres are going on unscrubbed for the yellow band. There you see a bit of the yellow band that's just come off that car. I hope they might make that a bit wider next time. A little difficult to spot. There's Paffett in, and Paffett, I think, going on to the options. There is Mike Rockenfeller. An absolute stampede down the pit lane. Cars in, cars out. So, be interested to see now what happens, and whether Paffett starts to move up the field. And Wehrlein up to 2nd place. Wehrlein now in the lead, and they're the sad sight of Tambay's car. And now they're all under the safety car. Just remove the damaged vehicles. And they'll be racing again in just a moment. And off they go, and Pascal Wehrlein heading the field. This is an incredible story. Wehrlein, who thought he'd be racing in Formula 3 this year again, went to Monza, won one of those Formula 3 races, but by then he'd had the call up from Mercedes to say, no, you're going to be racing in the DTM. And here he is, the 18-year-old, youngest man ever in DTM. Now the youngest man ever to lead one of these races. Just hearing that Roberto Merri has made 2 pit stops. One didn't count. Of course, came in too early, I think. We're on board with Paffett there, down at that hairpin again. Good shot looking at the back of the Farfus car, I think, into the stadium section. Just a bit of a twitch on the brakes from Wehrlein. Timo Glock well up. Glock in 3rd place at the moment. That's a good debut. And there, look at that bonnet go. That was Ekstrom's bonnet. And the carbon fibre goes flying to expose the V8 motor. So this is not turning out to be a very good race for Audi at all. And there is the bonnetless A5. And just there's Matara. And Matara spins. Matara is maybe spun there by Ekstrom. Edo Matara had such a great season for the Ingolstadt manufacturer last year. And he drops back. So Wehrlein still leads from Farfus, Glock. I don't know, maybe this is what started Ekstrom onto the grass. Possibly that broke a part of the bonnet retaining structure, and then it just got the air under it and off it flew. We've seen that happen before in this same place on the DTM in the past. Let's look at that incident again. There is Robert Merry coming down the inside. And meanwhile, Ekstrom, I think Ekstrom just touched the Playboy car. And around it went. Not sure if Merry was really involved with that. Look at Gary Paffett on the charge now. This race going to come back towards Paffett. And there, Tomczyk meanwhile goes down the inside. And Spengler's there. There's all close action here at the DTM. This is what we remember from last year. Look at Paffett there, glued to the back of the BMW of Tomczyk. Spengler tries to go around the outside of Gary, two of the greatest rivals in the DTM. Super racing round here. But all the time I notice Augusto Farfus banging in some quick lap times. Farfus looking pretty handy in this race. Don't see him on screen at the moment. Into the stadium section there on this spring day. There's Timo Glock. And Glock ahead at the moment of Farfus. And look at Glock really charging hard. Good on the brakes down into the hairpin. Replay of a great move there by the former Marussia team driver and former Toyota Formula One driver at all. And then this three-way battle between some of the big names of DTM. And look at Paffett trying to get down the inside. What a great shot overhead there. Spengler, Tomczyk, all champions on board with Spengler, just checking that out. And Gary had to back off there as Spengler came across. Excellent racing from the trio here. Tomczyk hanging on. Back at the hairpin. There's Glock. There's Farfus. Farfus putting in some excellent times at the moment. And this three-way battle we've been following. Look at Paffett this time, tries to get a run round the outside and then the undercut, but it doesn't work. On board with Paffett then, let's see what he can do from this perspective. So Toto Wolff now taking over from Norbert Haug. Here's Timo Glock. Timo Glock into the gravel. Can he get it out of there? I think he's got enough momentum. Yes, he has. But Timo Glock throws away a good position there as Paffett goes down the inside of Tomczyk and passes the limping Glock. Sure that Glock's got quite a lot of build-up on his tyres. He's got to clean them off. There is Paffett. Smooth in replay going through. And there is Glock just getting back to speed. And Glock comes in for a pit stop. Let's see how this new M-Tech team do. Put together by a former Red Bull man. And off it goes. I saw a man not happy there. Look at that man. Did he get the wheel nut on? Did he get the wheel nut on? And Glock's in trouble. Look, the car's weaving. And he didn't. Right wheel, rear wheel departs, bounces into the barrier, and Glock's DTM race ends right there, but he showed that he had the speed. Let's have a look. There, the man with the gun.
You were having a really good race, and then in the first pit stop, you actually lost a wheel during the race. I guess that happens, but how do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, everyone can make a mistake. I made a mistake in turn 12 where I went straight and locked the wheel. now one of the mechanics made a mistake, so that's racing, that's part of it. But I think until that we had a pretty good race. Maybe didn't do the right strategy call on the safety car period when everyone went in and we stayed out. I think we should have stayed out. We should have come in as well. But that's how it is, you know. Learned a lesson today again. But until that, I think we had a good speed and good fun. So coming from P15, being in the top 10 after after the first lap, and then being up there in the top 3 was good fun. So let's bring on the next race.
Exactly, that next race is at Brands Hatch on the little 1.3 mile Indy circuit. And how will these two fare at the front? Two of the Mercedes juniors, both racing in Formula 3 last year, are now 1 and 2, Wehrlein and Juncadella. Farfus is third, Paffett fourth. He's on the options now, I think. And the options don't seem to be making quite as much difference as we thought they would. But we're still on a big journey learning how these tyres will react. And of course they may be different at other circuits compared with here. The Korean manufacturer Hankook producing the options as Paffett finds a way through past Farfus. And Paffett definitely on the move. Farfus tries to go back down the inside, but the hairpin, no, he can't do it. And Paffett then moves up to third place ahead of Augusto Farfus, the man from Curitiba in Brazil. Still, there's a lot of racing yet to come. And Christian Vettoris right there in the Selva Mercedes, and Vettoris now has Farfus in his sights. Well, there is Spengler and Ekstrom still going without the bonnet, and then Rockenfeller in the yellow and green Audi run by the Phoenix organisation. Replay of Spengler making a nice clean move there as he bounces up and down in the seat. And Tomczyk and Dirk Werner. Dirk Werner, remember, started right at the back of the field. He's come all the way up the field. Werner, obviously having a good race. Wehrlein and Juncadella, Paffett third, Mercedes 1, 2 and 3. Well, I think the best Audi has to be Timo Scheider. What about Joey Hand? Give him a word. Remember, he stalled on the grid and he has moved back to 10th place, so Hand having a handy race. Mortara in and out. Mortara is a retirement. And Dr. Ulrich, who was at Spa the previous day to see an Audi 1-2-3 in the World Endurance Championship race with the Le Mans cars. Not seeing much success here as Wehrlein comes in. I think he's got, yeah, see, he started on those options, saw the yellow stripe there, so he made them last a lot longer than everybody expected. Over 20 laps. And the 18-year-old also has a fine touch. And he goes back into the race, and now the order will be rejiggled around. Juncadella also impressing, the F3 champion from Spain. There's Paffett. Decade of experience in the DTM. Vettoris, second most experienced now of the Mercedes drivers in his third season. Juncadella currently leads, Paffett in second. Spengler currently in 11th place, but cars on different strategies, of course. A little bit of a fishtail there in this battle between the two Mercs, with Merry pushing on. Into the stadium section. Wehrlein and Merry. And Juncadella comes in. He's made those options last even longer. Cadella stops. The Hooker's crew go to work. And dispatched in 3.5 seconds. Good stop for Danny and Cadella. But now up front, it's Paffett inheriting the lead. Vittoris second, their line. Cadella rejoins in 6th place. Those drivers have to stop again. Confirmation on the screen of the current positions. Joey Hand now in 9th, Whitman is 10th, Spengler 11th. Andy Prio moved up a little bit to 13th place. And Scheider back there in 14th. Whoa, Paffett really locks it up. Coming in. So, pit stop for Gary Paffett. See those tyres come off. And Paffett makes his stop in 4.4. That's Paffett's second stop back onto the regular tyres. Didn't seem to be that much quicker on the options. Oh no, Ekstrom is out. A torrid race for him. We got more pit stops here. Oh, Merry locks up. Now the HWA boys go to work on Wehrlein and Merry carrying the Thomas Sabo colours this year, and both with a 3.3. Quick stops, the pair of them. Werner having an excellent race here. And Dirk Werner doing a perfect job for Schnitzer. So we have a new leader then, yet another leader. Dirk Werner it is, the second Schnitzer team driver. Farfus still there in 3rd place ahead of Paffett. Now notice that Farfus and Paffett and Spengler have made their second stops. The two in 1st and 2nd places have not. They have to stop. That will cost them 20 seconds. That will drop them back, and that will put Farfus into the lead as we go into the final stage of this race. Now we've got an indication of really what will happen in the closing stages, and it'll be Farfus chased by Paffett and Spengler. That looks like a set of regular tyres going on to Vittoris, so he also ran with the stickers in the middle section. It's just passed there by Paffett, but Vittoris looking as if he's going to have a very handy result here. Waiting for Werner to make his pit stop. And here he comes in the Samsung car. This is Dirk Werner out of the lead. Where will he cycle back in? Part of it will depend on how quick these Schnitzer boys are, and we know they are mega at these pit stops. 3.1 seconds. Off he goes, but where's he going to come back in? Turning right out of the pit lane, observing the pit speed limit, and then accelerating away. And here comes Paffett. There is Werner ahead of Paffett. Farfus in the lead. Then it's Werner, then it's Paffett. Spengler, the champion in 5th, Timo Scheider in 6th place, Rockenfeller up to 7th, and it's Hand, Rockenfeller the best of the Audi runners, and Paffett under attack from Vittoris. but Vettoris goes in too deep and does. Gary gets it back, he's got the inside for the next right-hander. There's Werner in front of them and Pavitt hangs on. But Vettoris comes at him again and Vettoris goes through. Well, I wonder if there's any team orders here. So Vettoris ahead of Pavitt. Spengler gets a great view of that. But the windscreen, quite a lot of bugs out. And Spengler's fancies his chances of getting past the two Mercedes. Into the stadium again. And there's Spengler after Pavitt. They fought for the championship last year. Replay of a good move by Vettoris. But retrospectively, let's hear what Gary Pavitt thought of that particular move. Remember, it's his teammate.
It's a bit disappointed with some of the driving. Some of the driving was unfair and too hard. So with these different tyres and different speeds of cars, people need to learn how to handle that. And yeah, it made it difficult. But you know, the first race with these regulations, getting some good points is okay.
So Gary Pavitt speaking there after the race, of course. But Farfus, look at this, heading towards victory now. Look at the flags waving for BMW. And Farfus, the Brazilian, Gusto takes the victory. His second DTM win. He won at Oschersleben last year. This one could be just, if not even sweeter. And Dirk Werner makes it a BMW 1-2. Vettoris comes home third, ahead of Gary Pavitt. BMW celebrate. Here's Jens Marquardt.
It's really amazing. And to have Augusto starting from the front end, Dirk starting from the very back, both then up there is just fantastic. Mega, mega compliments to all the guys, to my teams, to RBM, to Schnitzer, everybody. Fantastic job. A big strategy that now really pays off with all the tire and DRS and options and anything. And I hope it was as exciting for the spectators as it was for us. But overall, really a great result. We've also seen Timo and Marco really doing well. I mean, unfortunate for Timo, but this is the learning that we have to go through. But from BMW side, overall, fantastic result.
And what about Werner coming right from the back? Farfus, Werner, Vettoris, the top three. Gary Pavitt, Bruno Spengler and Timo Scheider. Then it was Joey Hand in 7th place. Mike Rockenfeller, the best Audi. Whitman, Merry going through. Juncadella making his debut in 12th place. Tomczyk, Green only in 14th. He'll want to improve on that. Molina, Albuquerque, Prio. And there is Augusto Farfus. He will celebrate.
We saw a brilliant race from your side, up on the podium in the very first race. How does it feel with the victory?
Amazing to start the season in such level. It's fantastic. We didn't know what to expect since the new season was starting, new rules, option tires, DRS. So I have to say the team did a fantastic job. From the pit wall, they made the right calls at the beginning when they had saved car out to put me in options and get on the primes. I had a very strong pace on primes, so I think at the race we managed a good pace through the entire race. So that's why at the end I had a little margin. But it's just a dream. It's hard to believe to start. If I look backwards, just 12 months ago I was doing my first DTM race, and now I have the second victory, and I'm starting the season already with the right foot. So let's concentrate now, do step by step. But now I want to really enjoy this moment.
Yeah, Farfus looking a little bit emotional there, being congratulated by his team boss. And also, of course, congratulations to Team RBM.
The miracle man of the race, because my God, you started all the way in the back and you flew across the field, landing on 2nd place. How does that feel?
That feels unbelievable, especially when I think of yesterday, where I really was so disappointed because of the starting position and nothing worked in practice and qualifying. And today it feels like, you know, the best day of my life. Really everything worked together. Of course, the safety car helped me to bunch up the field, and then I was on the right tires. I could overtake a lot of cars. The car was so fast, unbelievable. And also the strategy calls, everything. The car was amazing. The team worked so great. So this is a great day.
So perfect day for you.
Exactly, perfect day.
And they're just reflecting the top 10 positions there, the championship. And let's hear from Christian Vettoris.
Because the pace was quite strong in the middle stand, and that's where we made the time. At the beginning I started on the standard tire, where I lost the time, and at the end with the option tire, which I drove, we gained the time again.
That's good to hear. And how's it feel, third place in the very first race of the season?
Really good. Was really looking forward to the race after a lot of tests. You never really knew where you are, but now we can be sure that we are fast enough.
And what about the man who started in pole position? Timo Scheider came home 6th.
The start was awesome. We could pull away a little bit, and then we had the safety car situation with the problem of the burning car from Adrian Tombe. And then the problem started. The team took just a decision too late, and unfortunately we came into pits 1 lap too late. So that's for sure, something which you can't really take into account, because you have to decide those things in like a couple of hundreds and tens. So we just missed it, unfortunately. In the end, we dropped back to P18.
So the new DTM season started with new rules in the sunshine with a Brazilian winner.
What a perfect race weekend here at the Hockenheim Ring. What a perfect start into the new season 2013. A double victory for BMW. Well, we saw a lot of magic moments there. So in 2 weeks, we're off to Brands Hatch, and certainly it's going to be just as spectacular. So take care. Bye-bye.